Welcome to the JC Log Podcast, episode 9, Making Intentional Escapism Fun for You and Your Audience. Are you an artist who is looking to escape in content creation for videos, podcasts, and other forms of intentional escapism entertainment for your audience and fans? But do you always find yourself asking if what you are making and showing is actually good enough? Is that thought stopping you from creating, or does it make you enjoy the process less? Then this 9th episode of the JC Log Podcast will help you out. Since we have arrived at the final days of Stress Awareness Month, this April 2026, I like to take some of that creation stress and possible insecurities away from you to make you enjoy the beautiful process of creation. Digital escapism should be fun for you and your audience. So let's go. In this short edition of the JC Log Podcast, I will briefly talk about how experience and education evolve from doing, and not necessarily from the next shiny course that you want to take on. I also talk about why okay is good enough, especially if you are a new and aspiring content creator and artist. And lastly, I talk about why you should shift your mindset from wanting to show your fans perfection to taking them along on your journey, and why you should make them a part of your growth process in the intentional escapism adventure. Part 1. How experience and education evolve from doing and not from the next shiny course. I am of the mindset, I've always been of the mindset, that you should just start doing. It is okay to start a course if you need to learn something complex or learning to play a new instrument, for example. But oftentimes it can also stop you immediately in your tracks if you start to focus on the course more than actually producing and creating. From my own experience and from my experience with other creators and publishers, I have often seen that they focus too much on the course and the next course and the next one instead of just starting out. And of course, besides doing a course, you can also learn from just doing something every day, even if it's hard. Keep doing it and you will build up experience and you will educate yourself that way. So again, I won't say that doing a course or having some form of education for your art form isn't important, but don't let it be that bump in the road that stops you right in your tracks from the beginning. And if you're not careful with it, you can get very overwhelmed with it, and it might discourage you so much that it stops you from doing what you initially wanted to do, and of course that is what you don't want. Number 2, why okay is good enough, especially if you are a new and aspiring content creator and artist. Perfectionism, as speaking from experience, is a very difficult thing to deal with in a lot of moments. You want to do it all correctly, and you need to realize that perfection can never be achieved. There's always someone who's doing it better. There's always more expensive equipment to buy. There's always some new shiny carrot that you can chase, and you really need to realize that a perfect piece of art or content is not achievable. But again, it comes back to doing it every day, and then you will get better. Everybody started out somewhere is the familiar saying, and that is true. And if you want to have some confirmation about that and just boost your own confidence, go to your favorite creators' website or YouTube page and check out their old content, their old videos, their old articles, and you will see that they stumble over their words as well, and that their camera quality is maybe low, or their audio is low, or their artworks aren't that perfect, or their music isn't that good yet. But then if you scroll through their content and go more to recent times, you will see them get better over time. And but they went on and they continued. They didn't let it stop them, or they didn't let themselves feel insecure enough to not continue. And so it can be a real confidence booster to just see that your favorite creator, who's having such smooth and slick content right now, also started out from a place of lesser quality, but they decided to show that process. And that brings me to my next and final point: why you should shift your mindset from wanting to show your friends perfection to taking them along on your personal journey. Make it the part of your mindset that you make them a part of your growth process and your intentional escapism adventure. See it as growing with your audience. That might seem amateurish at first, but speaking from experience, your audience can appreciate that. It's fun for them as well to see the process that you are making and to see you grow and become better at what you do as an artist and a content creator. Show them all your imperfections, show them all your mistakes, and especially if you're an artist, that process from going to that initial rough draft to something that is beautiful and finished, that is a very fun thing to watch, and I can assure you that a lot of people will appreciate seeing that. So don't worry too much. And to wrap this up, to conclude, so 3 things to keep in mind on this episode 9 of the JC Log podcast. And number 1, don't get hung up on courses. Take them if you have to, but always put them second place. Producing and making content comes first, and it is okay, it's good enough for everything that you make. Every day that you do it, you will become better. Think about that when you feel insecure, or when you don't want to post, or when you feel something isn't good enough. It is. Every day you're getting better by doing it. And again, number 3, take your audience along with that process, and you will have a lot of fun during your intentional escapism journey as an artist. Note, this edition of the podcast is especially focused on the outward content creation process itself. In my celebrative milestone, episode 10 of the JC Luck podcast, I take a closer look at some inward psychological factors that can keep you from going as an aspiring intentional escapism artist in the making. Keep an eye out for that episode later today, as in it I reveal a simple and effective deadline strategy that helps me personally to avoid procrastination and pushes me to get things published on my set deadlines. With that being said, I wrap up this short 9th edition of the JC Luck podcast right here, and I encourage you to get started with your next artwork, your next song, or your next article, or whatever it is that you're making for your audience at this moment and are considering publishing. I wish you a great creation process, and I hope that you will join again for my celebrative 10th edition of the podcast, in which I reveal my own personal strategy to get things published on time and on my set deadlines. I hope to see you there, my fellow travelers. Thank you again for listening, and don't forget to follow me and subscribe me wherever you can, and leave me a review on Apple Podcasts if you enjoyed listening to this show. Thank you so much, and see you next time.